Content warnings for this episode may include fantasy violence, blood, grief, funerals, mourning, complex character dynamics, depictions of food, alcohol, and substance use, and mentions of spiders.
Do you even know who you are? There's no sense of cohesion in this piece at all. The use of colors is one thing, but your shape work says something else entirely. It's busy, overdone, even a bit cliche. Can hardly tell if the mood is meant to be melancholic or simply introspective. Instead, you've locked the elements in a tableau of eternal struggle with each other. Multimedia doesn't mean throw everything you think is trendy at the canvas. Just look at the brush strokes. It's like you forgot what medium you were working with when this all started. So haphazardly placed. Pity, really. You can barely find your face, or what's supposed to be your face, amidst all the noise. Are you even in here?
Seriously? Art critique at a funeral? Little on the nose, don't you think?
Well, I mean, if the deceased had been a better artist, then perhaps I wouldn't have so much to critique.
Ah, perhaps you are right. You're always so good at equivocation. But you know in your heart of hearts that the Shimizu girl was nothing if not earnest. Despite how everything went down. There's something noble about that.
Earnest? Really? You're going to say that about Ren? Do you know why we're here?
Do you?
Is that a trick question?
Is it?
Well, it doesn't really do to keep asking me my questions right back at me now, does it?
This funeral is a nice affair. After all, you had been the one to plan it, and all the mourners milling around give you a nice birth of respect, some tapping your shoulder in condolences, others giving you that nod of acknowledgement. Music is playing, something tasteful but not overdone, enough to settle into the back, but not enough to take center stage. There's a surprising turnout for Ren Shimizu. Your mother had orchestrated that. Rather, had orchestrated it so you would orchestrate it that way. How do you feel about how the funerals come together?
I did my job. And I think I did it well. I did it well. There
You
are
did.
people from all of the different houses here. That's a feat in and of itself. Well, almost all of the houses.
Almost all of the houses.
And for someone as... well, for someone like Ren, she wasn't exactly...
Notable?
You said it, not me. I think that's quite a feat. So... I did my job.
Nice choice of flowers. You are proud of the floral arrangements that you've selected. They pop against the black, but again, like the music, they don't take center stage. As they shouldn't. And the invitations, the cardstock, immaculate. Very well done.
Not a detail out of place.
Everything in its proper place on the web as it should be, as you were taught.
As you were taught. As you taught me sometimes.
Best keep your wits about you. Whew. Over there. The fiancé's closing in and they look a mess.
Do we have to?
Yes, you do. Huh. They shaved their head. You can see the many places where an unsteady razor bit their scalp. Oh, the things grief does to us. Well, to Jamie.
Best not to comment on it.
Hi. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Jamie.
Yeah.
My condolences for your loss.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It's a very nice service. You've really outdone yourself. Really lived up to the name of House Dakar here.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure that Ren had the absolute best. You know, she was important to me and to the house just broadly.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you. You know, I know Ren talked a lot about how much Z admired you. You know, as a, you know, your artistic eye and all that.
I mean, I'm not the artist, right? They're the ones that make the art. All I do is just put it together.
Yeah, well, you
for
have
other
to
people
have
see.
the taste. Yeah, you have to have good taste for that to work. That's what Ren always said. Always on and on about your taste. So.
How are you, though, in all of this? I mean, it must be kind of strange.
Pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. Though I guess that's not surprising. Yeah, not great, but it's really amazing to see the turnout. So many people here. I didn't even know Ren knew this many people. I mean, they never talked about. I guess maybe I didn't know her as well as I thought.
Well, you'd be surprised the lengths to which someone's influence, somebody's touch can go, especially as an artist. You touch so many lives without even having met them at all.
Well, art. Yeah, I'm not an artist myself, but it's beautiful, isn't it? The portrait.
Ren.
Yeah, right. It really is her. I think it's the most beautiful thing she's ever made. I just wish she had the chance to share it with everyone in a way that wasn't like this.
You know, Ren had so much potential as an artist, and were it that Z was still here to be able to work on that potential to get to that one day. It's quite a shame.
Well, I think she got to it here, don't you?
I got to where exactly?
You know, to the place where she was always talking about how she wanted one of her pieces, maybe even a few of her pieces, to be worthy of the ICMA, and well, what do you think? As the head curator, what do you think, really?
Well, let me ask you this, Jamie. What exactly do you think stands out about this piece compared to the others that Ren has made?
The color, the passion, all the other pieces, I think Z was just trying to copy something cool that Z saw hanging in a gallery in your museum somewhere, but this is her first time doing something original. That's just her. And it's so unapologetic. So passionate.
It is, like you said, it is Ren. A self-portrait, after all. But don't you think it would be a shame to display it all on its own? Wouldn't it be lonely, almost? I would hate to insult Ren's memory like that when there are so many other pieces of hers.
Oh no, there are so many. I can bring them over to the office sometime. They're still at Zero apartment, but if you think that it's good, maybe there can be, I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but it really depends on what you think. If you think they're good enough, I can bring them over. Maybe you can do something with them. The museum can do something with them.
We could certainly do something with them, of course.
Okay, I would talk to your assistant about it, but should I just email the website or what's on the website?
Why don't you just email me directly and I can see if I mean, I know that everybody at the museum has been talking about how we want to spruce up the offices, for the office workers. And so I'm sure that perhaps we can figure something out.
Put her art in the office?
Where
Ren didn't make art for fucking hotel lobbies.
Oh, well, it's a good thing that this isn't a hotel lobby then, Jamie.
You don't like it?
I never said that.
You didn't have to.
Jamie.
It's fine.
I understand that you are going through a very difficult time right now.
That's... I should go talk to Zero Mom. She's been looking for me.
Of course. And please, in case I don't get a chance to talk to the other Shimizus myself, please give Zero Mom my condolences. On behalf of the house.
Yeah. Sure. Bye.
Bye. Passion?
That is what they said. Passion.
I mean, it's self-referential, sure, but there's no substance to it. I mean,
yet,
I don't...
The word lodges in your mind. Passionate. Turning around over and over like a marble, trying to sand its final rough edges off. Passion. How does that make you feel, truly, beyond this analytical bullshit?
I mean, what even is passion? People throw these words around. Passion, love, and I don't really think that they even know what it is that they're talking about. I mean, beyond just the analytical bullshit, just look at this piece. What does passion even mean? It's chaotic, it's haphazard, there's no direction to the movement.
You don't find that beautiful in its own way?
If you don't have direction, you'll only lead yourself astray, off of a cliff or somewhere dark, somewhere that you can't come back from. That's not... You always have to have purpose. You always have to have direction, a goal, rules.
That's right. Intention. The way you were taught from birth how to weave a web. Spiders know how to spin beautiful patterns on instinct. But you, as a person, as what was once a mortal, you have to spin that pattern with thought and mind.
And without it, without that thought in mind, without some sort of guardrails, something to guide you, a light in the distance, you'd be spinning yourself in circles.
Perhaps you're right. There is logic, there is honesty to these thoughts going through your mind, but there is also dishonesty to the thoughts coming out of your mouth. You weren't entirely honest with the fiancé. You didn't lie, not directly. You're very good at talking out of both sides of your mouth. Getting better at wearing that mask, weaving the performance of it all.
What was I supposed to say? I mean, we're at a funeral, you said it yourself. Am I supposed to just say, no, sorry, Ren's artwork is a little derivative. It would never see the light of day at the ICMA. There's a reason that at all the time that Ren was working with me that, well, I never took any of her art for any of our exhibits. I can't say that.
You're right. You can't. Those would be exactly the wrong words to use. You did as best as you could. considering the circumstances. The mask, the weaving. The mask, the weaving. So many masks, so much weaving all the time, this tangled social web of mourners, grievers, performers, and you here, the best of them. How does that make you feel?
The best of them. Do you really think so?
This is your story, Ro.
No, do you really think so?
Fast. Another mourner approaches. If it isn't Anugata herself, broad-shouldered retainer to house tune, wearing that trucker's coat as always. Wow, that denim is well made. How can she afford that on a line cook's salary? Rhetorical question, of course. Rhododendron, my apologies.
Anugata, thank you so much for being here on behalf of your house.
Yeah, wouldn't have missed it for the world.
And I appreciate that ever so much. I know that you didn't necessarily know Ren personally, but as a friend of mine and of the house's, it means a lot to me.
Oh, yeah, sure. Definitely. What is this thing?
A self-portrait. Made by Ren. What do you think of it?
I'm not an artist. I guess it's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what does it make you feel?
Confused. I like that, little sparkly bit in the center. What is that, tinfoil?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Well,
You wouldn't believe how many new cooks try to microwave tinfoil.
And I'm sure that's been a liability for all of your restaurants.
Yeah, massive fucking liability. But, whatever poor, sad sacks end up on our front step, we take them in.
And I've always admired that about you. Something we hope to emulate ourselves.
Yeah, sure. Listen. Level with me here. This, Ren girl. How'd she go? The real story, not the company line,
Of course. Some say it was a tragic accident. I wasn't there, unfortunately. My mother actually knows more than I do about it. But apparently, Ren just wasn't able to handle the difficult journey of becoming an artist anymore, and I'm not really quite sure. But I think that she had some sort of falling out with another artist, and there was some tension that was going on over there.
Who? What other artist?
Some squabbles. I don't think you'd know the name, and, well, we've already got it handled on that front.
Oh. I see. So a creative difference is kind of...
You know how
thing.
artists are. So much
I do.
passion.
Yeah.
Kind of boils over sometimes.
I know what you all are like, even though I myself am not one of them. Was this artist also a, vampire?
No, thankfully. After all, the Crimson
And they killed her?
Tapestry-
Were they a hunter?
No. That's why I say tragic accident, because I don't think that they even really knew what it was that they were doing. I don't think they intended to.
Maybe they had some installation piece full of wooden stakes and they just happened to shove Ren Shimizu onto one of them perfectly through the heart.
Wouldn't that be a story?
Wouldn't that be a story indeed?
You say you're not one of them, but I knew. I've been to your restaurants. That is a work of art, if I've ever seen one.
You know, flattery will get you everywhere here.
I'm well aware, but this time I'm actually being truthful. Your eggs, I mean, can only taste so much, but I know that if I were alive, that would be my go-to breakfast every day.
You know, they say you can really tell who's a good chef and who's a great chef by two things.
What's that?
Can they cook an egg? And can they make a sauce?
Can you make a sauce?
Well, a sauce contains many components, and there are many kinds of sauces. Many different bases, many different ingredients you can mix in. You know,
Humor
some
me.
chefs get a little greedy, especially when they're eager to prove themselves. They throw in all sorts of bullshit that doesn't need to be there, foregoing the basics, in preference for some smorgasbord of nothingness. But some chefs are deliberate, tactical, strategic. They know exactly what ingredients to use to get the desired effect. And they serve it up with a little smile, steaming pile of bullshit on a plate, topped with some truffles.
You know, artists, new ones, are not quite so different from new chefs. They also don't really know what medium to work in. They don't know where their hands are best used. Their eye sees one thing and their hand does another. They're lost, searching, like children, almost. Unrefined palate, I think you call it in your industry.
Yes. Underdeveloped.
Underdeveloped. The nice thing, though, is that once you've had some time to hone your craft, you really start to understand where your place is in the broader industry as an artist. And the best artists, the smart ones, as I'm sure is true of chefs as well, know not to dither too far outside of that niche.
Niches. And what exactly is House Drakar's niche nowadays? You are artists, of course, entertainers, but you also happen to be problem solvers. More and more. You know, you helped Kuatun out back 2 weeks ago. And you helped the snakes. And now you're helping mortals solve their affairs too, or rather cover them up. Where's
It's
that
just
gonna end?
neighborly.
Neighborly.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've lived in the city together for so long, and every house has had their niches, as you've said, has their own roles, but don't you think that that's a little restrictive?
I think
We
it
could be
helps
helping each other out
all of
so
us
much more.
not step on each other's toes. So
Of
you
course.
can make your art in your museums. I'll cook my eggs in my diners. And when you need a cup of sugar, I'll lend one. And when I need, I don't know, fucking frame or something, I'll knock on your
Decorations
door.
for a party, let's say.
Sure, decorations for a party. A nice film. Something to show off. That's the way it should be.
And that's the way it has been for so long. I just think that we hold each other back almost by not allowing each other to expand. Ever so slightly. Think of it this way. Cooking is in and of itself an art. But I dare not say that House Kuatun is encroaching on our territory by creating fine dining. That is your art.
What was her art, exactly?
Collage? Maybe? Maybe.
An omelet?
Although I think it's a little bit unconventional because if you look right next to the tinfoil, I think that's shaved peanuts. It gives off a certain odor. No,
It's almonds.
you really shouldn't.
It all tastes like ash vaguely anyway.
I'm
But I
not
can tell
sure.
it's almonds.
I'm not sure what kind of paints Ren was using.
Well, at least if they weren't the pure, undiluted, concentrated power of the sun, I think I'll be okay.
Okay. Okay. Body is a temple and all that, you know.
Sure, yeah. Whatever. I think I see Sakti over there. I'm gonna check in. My condolences to you again, and, Ro? Watch what you're serving.
Always. Oh,
Whew. Well, that was something.
who do you think? You don't think somebody told?
Do you?
I made sure nobody saw. There were no witnesses.
Well, the circumstances aren't exactly not suspicious.
I mean, I know we don't have. It's not every century that a vampire dies, and for this to happen so close to.
So close to the nest.
And but it does happen. It's not out of the realm of thought. It has happened, and I mean, only recently we saw this happen before too, so surely somebody, I think somebody knows something.
That
How
must be
slanty
it.
as it must be, they're always poking their nose into places they don't belong.
Well, yes, that is one very good theory, but perhaps there are more. Perhaps your work wasn't as perfect as you thought it was.
What are you trying to say?
Only what you already suspect, what you already fear.
No.
As for the servant of the bear, you know as well as anyone that Anugata isn't all brawn. Those gears are turning in her head, and the bears will close in unless you clean up this mess. Again.
I know. I'll figure it out.
You need to watch yourself, Ro. You are careful, deliberate, but you need to start being paranoid. That's what it takes to survive Inferno. For the house.
Were you like that?
Oh,
Paranoid?
speaking of the house, it is your little sister. Ugh, thank the gods she's bringing you a drink. Though, is that leather jacket really appropriate attire for a funeral? Open in such a way that it shows off that new tattoo of hers. What an interesting design. Do you get it?
Do I
The design?
Is there something to get?
It's rather geometric, don't you think? Well, she's coming close. Best give her, Yara, your full and undivided attention. There is something up with her.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Hello, Yara.
got you something. Looked like you needed it.
Thanks.
Got my own too.
It's sweet.
Yeah, they make it a little too sweet here. You know, whatever caterers you hired, I guess.
Is that a new tattoo?
Oh, this? Yeah.
What is it?
What do you think it is?
Well, knowing you, probably something about the world eating itself and tearing itself apart or something.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Am I
I'm
in the
not
right
13
ballpark?
anymore. I've moved past that.
Oh yeah, what are you on now?
I'm interested in cycles now. Patterns.
So I was right. Alright. Yeah.
It's an
come here.
Ouroboros abstracted.
Of course it is. Come here. Come here. Look at this.
What? What?
What do you think?
Ew, what is that? Oh, oh, I see. You should have killed her sooner.
Hey,
What? Oh,
Keep
I wasn't
it
supposed to
down.
say that, was I? Whatever. No one's
No.
listening to us, and if they are, you'll just kill them too.
Yara.
What?
I don't know if Mother has talked to you recently, but it is important to assume that you are being overheard at all times.
Mother never talks to me. You're the only one she talks to nowadays. Which is fine. I'd rather be over here, away from the microscope, than underneath its direct glare.
Would that we all. But. Do you know what it's even trying to say? I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. And
Well, maybe you should stop, because I don't want to know what it's trying to say. It's convoluted, it's meaningless, and it's, quite frankly, rather putrid.
You know what? Cheers. By the way, speaking of convoluted, have you thought about my offer? Deadline's coming up to make a decision, and, well, House Huyin's a little antsy.
Yeah, because they have to plan everything like 6 months in advance, because academics need to have their entire syllabus prepared. They can't just wing it like we can. Though I know you don't prefer to wing it. It's one of your many flaws.
It's a big opportunity. It's a big opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, I thought about it, and I guess, okay, or whatever. Fine. Sure.
Yes?
Yes, I'm saying yes. Oh
That
my
is a
God.
binding yes if you are saying yes.
Okay, fine, it's a binding yes.
Okay. Well, maybe it's a good thing that you spend all of your time holed up in your studio, because that means that you have, well, 6 months, like you said, to create a new album to show them, okay?
I don't make music for people to listen to.
What do you make music for, then? Yara, it's music.
You wouldn't get it.
Okay, well, whether or not I get it is besides the point. The point is that you will have your debut album made and ready for the listening of people's ears in 6 months' time, and House Huyin is going to give you a very, very prestigious release party at the university, and you get to lecture about your artistic process. You get to teach new people, new musicians, about what it means to make art, what it means to make music that is not meant to be listened to.
Who's gonna listen to a fucking 22-year-old?
Well, 19-year-olds, I guess.
Well, okay. Yeah, fine. I guess because it's binding and all, I've signed up to do it, so I'm doing it.
Well, you're not just doing it for you. Remember that. You're also doing this for us. The house.
Can you quit it with all this house shit? I guess you can't. You literally can't.
You
But-
also can't, by the way.
Oh, Mother does not give a single flying fuck about me, and you know that. I could make music about
You'd be
burning
surprised.
Inferno down, and she wouldn't listen to a single word of it.
Well, that's because you wouldn't actually burn Inferno down.
That's what you think. Maybe I would.
Really.
Yeah, really, maybe I would burn Inferno down.
Really. Okay. Prove it. Show me.
Maybe I will.
Look, the point is that you are part of this house, whether you like it or not. And whether Mother speaks to you or not, you do still represent us. The things that you do and the things that you say.
Yes,
no
as
matter-
I am constantly fucking reminded by you and by her texts that aren't even written by her, probably. But never
We're here to-
mind about me. This is a funeral for your shitty assistant. How are
Right.
you, how are you holding up or whatever?
Am I supposed to feel something?
Well, not about this, but about Zem. I mean, as horrible and deserving of death as an artist she was. What I hear is she was pretty efficient for you, anyway. Very little conflicts of personality, kind of just took whatever you threw at her.
Best assistant I had.
Ouch.
Yeah. But C made their choice, so I had to make mine.
Yeah. You know, I can sense Mom, Mother, closing in all around you. It's written all over your face. I mean, nice dress. Like, really nice dress. But, do you have to look so perfect all the time?
What's my other option?
I don't know, maybe you could... Never mind. Just...
I don't know
whatever.
if
I have
you've got
some-
an
no,
idea.
No, it's nothing. It's... Maybe you could tell her to shop it.
Oh. Yeah, that's a joke, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, totally.
I like your
Uh.
music. And I'm sure other people will too.
Okay, yeah, well... I don't care about what other people think.
Well, even if you don't care what other people think, I think they'll really like it. So try, yeah?
Shut up. I'm gonna go, smoke over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
bye.
for it. Am I supposed to feel something? People keep asking me.
For Ren? This art? No. But what about Yara? She's getting worse.
No. I'm worried about them. That's why I'm trying so hard to push them into the music, you know? I can tell that she really likes it. I can tell that she's... It makes her happy. And I think that she deserves for everyone else to see just how talented they are.
That is true. You do care. about your littlest sister.
Well, we have to be loyal to one another, don't we? In House the Crowd. The success of one of us is the success of all of us.
Yes, as Mother always told her. But something's eating at her. She's getting worse. Maybe
She
the
won't
thing
tell.
that's eating at her is that album she's been working on. Or maybe it's you.
Me.
Haven't you been paying attention to the way she's been looking at you?
I've noticed.
Yes. You are spinning 1,000 plates that at any moment could come down crashing and ruin everything. Here's one more plate for you to balance. Your little sister is up to something. And whatever it is, she's not doing well.
Well, then it's my job to make sure that whatever it is that she's doing works.
Yes.
Like I said, the success of one is the success of us all.
You are getting closer and closer to becoming the center of the web. Just as you were supposed to. Just as you are trying so hard to step into deserving.
It was never supposed to be mine.
Wasn't it?
I don't think so.
No. No, it wasn't. You know this in your heart of hearts. Sometimes you think to yourself when it's very, very early and the sun is bright and smiling and you are in the dark. You think of what could have been if all of this didn't happen. If you weren't the head of the spider. But those hypotheticals are just hypotheticals. They are a waste of time, a frivolous pursuit. And yet, they tug at you still. A heaviness in your unbeating heart that refuses to give.
But we're here now. And I'm here now. And you are not here now.
Oh! Oh. It's them. They're here. Shit. The nerve of it, really. What are they doing here? The nerve. That's what really strikes you. Walking through this funeral like it's one of their cathedrals. Then they sure are turning heads, aren't they? The cane hasn't changed at all, or those colored lenses like chips of stained glass in front of their eyes. Clever. Clever. Bold. No one would attack them here. It's not right. The aggressor would end up looking like a fool, a tyrant. And Inferno does not suffer tyrants. Why are they here? Why did they come here? Why are they here? To mock you? Just to prove that they can? They're coming closer. Ugh. The cologne hasn't changed either. You should have said something. Anything. Coward.
I lost that right a long time ago. They didn't say anything either. How could he? God, You know what? What's done is done. There's no point in looking back, right? Can only move forward. I just wish that he wouldn't insert themselves like this. So why do it? Why be here?
That is the question, isn't it? Why? Why come here? Why now? Why look at that painting like... Well, you didn't exactly look at their face, but you could tell. They were observing it, witnessing it, taking it in. And the thought rises within you unbidden. What did they think of it? Their opinion, strangely, infuriatingly, a part of you still cares about, deeply, incredibly. You're dying to know, what do they think of it? And do they feel the same way as you? Or entirely different?
Bet they couldn't even tell right side up from upside down on the painting. Never could.
Couldn't they? Couldn't you?
We were confused. That's all.
Yes, that must be it. Just confused. And now, here you are, little arachnid, on your web.
Spinning and spinning and spinning. Building outwards.
Building, crafting, weaving, always moving.
Doesn't even look like anything. At the end of it, all of this creating, moving, spinning, pushing paint around, and what's left at the end of it? A haphazard, thrown together piece of shit.
And a dead vampire. That's how stories in Inferno always end. Always begin. In your case. And who are you?
Is there a difference?
Who are you, Ro?
I am rhododendron, the crack. Now the scion of the house.
Crowned by tears. Twice bitten. Are you the spider? Weaving the web?
Perhaps the fly trapped within it.
Well, the only person that can answer that is... Be the spider, rhododendron.
Mother. I hope that the funeral has been going well as it can go, given that it is, in fact, a funeral.
The frame you picked is nice.
I always thought that gold was a little cliche and overdone, and given the, well, composition of the piece, I figured that,
Well, all colors have their place. Gold can work in some compositions and utterly overpower others.
Of course, exactly. Yes, and I thought that here something a little more unconventional would do better.
I might have used a different wood. Spruce, perhaps.
Right.
Or
Spruce.
cedar. But oak works fine. The way you've treated it is admirable.
I thought it really said something, about the sturdiness of life, the way it lives on, the sturdiness of the house, the way that Ren lives on within us. The rest
Ren
of
was
us.
never a branch or part of the trunk or a root. They were a fruit rolled at the base, basking in the glory of our shade. You did what had to be done. Pruned a rotting fruit.
After all, blood comes first.
That's right. Blood comes first. Though, I did smell the rot of the fruit before you even realized there was something awry. You've done well, rhododendron.
Pardon, perhaps, my overstepping here, Mother, but if you knew that that her loyalties were not with the house, then
I cannot always do everything for you forever, rhododendron. We may not die like we used to, but I am not intent on staying the head of House Takar forever. That is your duty. You need to start taking on more and more responsibility, and you've shown with this, and this as a whole, that you're ready.
to take over the house.
Don't be so eager, girl. To start, maybe, one day soon, take over the house.
Of course. Of course. It would be much, much too soon for it to be now.
This was a test you were perhaps unaware of, but that you did pass. So I'm ready to put more tests on your plate.
Of course.
The time is nigh to cement House Thakar's place in the Crimson Tapestry. A place that has never been reached before by any house or vampire in the history of Inferno. We will be the first.
And the last. You spoke of other tests. Am I to know what the next one is, or?
Oh, all in due time, rhododendron. It's a funeral, there's a time and place for these sorts of discussions.
Of course. Right. After all, we must keep up appearances for the others. Have you had a chance to speak to Yara lately?
Why would I do that?
I just thought that with their upcoming show at the university, that it might do to have.
You can have your hobbies, rhododendron, as long as they do not interfere with your work. Do I make myself clear?
Of course. Of course, Mother.
Good. Straighten up. Good. You look good. I picked a good outfit for this.
Thank you.
Okay then. Best go mingle. Lest you want folk to think you actually like looking at that thing.
Yeah. Of course.
Come.
Do you even know who you are?
Hello, everyone! Woo! What an episode! Am I right? What an episode, and what a way to introduce Hamna Shahid as our incredible special guest for Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol! Hamna, before I get a little too ahead of myself, why don't you tell folks who you are, what your relationship to Transplaner is, where people can find you, and what you do in the space? Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. I actually, for those transplanerds who have looked at our backlog, you might recognize me from The Second Stranger. I am a transplaner. I don't know what to call it. Vintage member, I guess.
Veteran, transplaner
veteran member. Yes, and I am back as the guest for Arc 3. Yay! Which I'm super excited about. If you want to follow me in all of my other projects, you can go over to, I guess, Blue Sky now, and follow me on Lilith TTRPG. Where I am most active and where I am posting about all of the different work that I do. I am on a little bit of like pre-production kind of work for a lot of projects, so there's not a whole lot going on. This is going to be the main place to be. But yeah, keep an eye out for me. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Connie.
It's me, Con. So hello, friends. No matter if you're tuning in here for the first time or for the 100th time, we are Transplaner RPG. We are an odd transgender, people of color-led, dark fantasy, actual play channel, telling stories set in an original, non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse, which means we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of the world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, and free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you all so much for showing up to support our story. We have a lot of incredible people to thank for helping make chaos possible, including our amazing sponsors, Explain Trade, Frivolous Bear Studios, and Hero Forge. So Hero Forge has added actually a bunch of cool new features since the last time we plugged them in Arc 2, including, drumroll please, their color statuettes. Look how fucking huge they are. They are over twice the size.
That's like the size of your head.
I know, it's massive, and they look like you can see the details. They're gorgeous. Like something I genuinely like, even from like a non-sponsored perspective, I'd probably just get one for myself, because it's the best way to display your Blorbo in like I think the detail and high definition that they deserve to be displayed in. So if you've ever thought to yourself, hey, minis are a little small, like I wish I could see more, you should buy one of their statuettes, and custom made. That one was from Last Hope. Gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. So check out Hero Forge today through our super special affiliate link at bit.ly/transforge. The T and the F are capitalized, bit.ly/transforge, and consider grabbing a gift card for yourself or a loved one in time before before the holiday season hits. And the simple act of clicking on that link or visiting the URL independently helps us. Even if you're just window shopping or don't buy anything, just clicking on that link helps get Hero Forge to support us even more down the line. And I'll pass things along over to Hamna, speaking of people who support us.
Yes, also, we would like to thank our Patreon precepts. Thank you so much for supporting Transplaner. That is Azura, Brooke, The Bow System, Cassidy, Charles, Clay, Gridrunner 404, Lyle and Peanut, Mark J, Nikolai, Phil, Rose, Sergeant Danes, Spencer, Squareheart, Taylor, and Zoe. You can join their illustrious ranks at patreon.com/transplanterrpg, and we I really implore you to consider pledging either for free or at the $3 tier to start, or even a gift subscription to a loved one for the holidays. That's a stocking stuffer because it takes up no space at all. You can unlock behind the scenes content, GM journal entries, and even monthly discounts at the merch store, which, by the way, is going to be having its first ever sale from November 29th all the way through December 2nd. So check it out and save the link by using !merch in chat.
Yes, you can also visit transplanterrpg.shop for that merch and save the date. Black Friday. So I cannot wait to hit the pavement running for Arc 3. Chaos returns next Saturday, November 30th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, right here on Twitch or YouTube, and potentially TikTok as well if we can figure that out. So it is time for Strike Team Nova to sink their teeth into Inferno and meet Rhododendron. Oh, love that.
You said sink your teeth.
I'm gonna do that to my open screen as well. Sorry, Mars. So stick around, everyone, for the raid, and we will see you back here next week, same time, same place. Journey well, Transplay nerds.